Hey folks, welcome back to the Lone Pine Tarot, or of course, welcome to the channel if you're brand new here. Thank you for joining me today for a good old-fashioned angel message reading, but more specifically, our topic is about advice from the angels on your current situation. So this will be a really great reading if you maybe have come across a bit of an obstacle in your life recently, or have been looking for some guidance because you're not quite sure where to go or what path to take with something going on. So let's pick our pile leaders to choose our piles with. So angels coming forward for everyone watching this video. Please guide us to the right cards for their pile leaders. Thank you. So we already got two. And I already am feeling this one because that one just was about ready to come flying out. So very quick today with the piles. Okay, so that's pile 3. I'm going to take this one as pile 1 and this one as pile 2. So for pile 1 today, your angel is the angel of divine timing. Very beautiful card. Gorgeous. Of course, the whole deck is just absolutely beautiful. But pile number 2 today is the angel of no. Very straightforward. No. Also a gorgeous card. And then last but not least, for pile 3, which is apparently the mystery pile today. This one didn't flip over and show everyone what it was right away. We have, oh, gorgeous, the angel of self-acceptance. Also beautiful. Okay, so pile 1, divine timing. Pile 2, no. And pile 3 is self-acceptance. Though, of course, you're always welcome to pause on this part of the reading if you need more time to decide what pile you would like read for you today. If you are brand new to pick a card at readings, I always recommend closing your eyes, taking in a deep cleansing breath. Imagine light filling your lungs from the air. Hold it for a moment. And then let that breath back out. And when you open your eyes again, see what you are first drawn to, what feels right in your gut. And that's what I recommend you pick for your pile. But whatever your method for choosing your pile, of course, you can drop down to the description box below or the top pinned comment beneath the reading. Click on the timestamp there for your pile, and I'll see you in our little chat about advice on your current situation from your angels. Toodaloo. Hello, my beautiful spirits of pile number 1. Welcome today to your pick a card reading. That is a message from your angels on advice on your current situation. As you recall, the angel you chose today was this very beautiful card of divine timing. So, of course, we can see him holding, it almost kind of looks like a clock. There's a little bit of like a mechanism sort of imagery here in the middle. And around the edges are almost like the edges or the niches of time. Very interesting. So, oh, does that say 1111 at the top? It does. I don't know if you can see this on camera, pile 1, but it does say 1111 right over his head, which is really cool. As we all know, that is an angel number. Very beautiful. So we'll set your divine timing card over here to the left. And first, I'd like to gain a little bit more insight about your situation at hand, just for me as the tarot reader to get some more context. So angel coming forward for pile 1 today, could you please give me a Lenormand that explains more what's going on? What situation are you referring to? Thank you. Okay, definitely this one. Interesting. So we have the boy, or the child as it's known in most Lenormand decks, pile 1. And the child is all about either a literal child in your life, or it can also mean the elements or traits that childhood or a child embodies. So for example, youthfulness, curiosity, playfulness, optimism for the future. Okay, so it seems what the angels want to speak to you about today is some situation regarding either your hope or your faith in something, or something that you're kind of playing around with, like say maybe an idea that you've had in your mind, but you're not sure whether or not to pull the trigger on it. Or it could also be about a literal child in your life. Okay, maybe a literal child of your own if you're a parent, or just a child in your family, or perhaps say you're a teacher, you work with children, so it's related to your job, something along those lines, pile 1. It's going to differ for, of course, everybody watching this, but so that's what they want to talk to you about. Your optimism, all the traits of a child in terms of, you know, being hopeful or faithful in something, believing in something. Believing in the magic of life is like another way we tend to describe it, because, you know, children aren't jaded, pile 1. They're not jaded like adults are. They believe in enthusiasm at any, I don't want to say at any cost. It's more like enthusiasm no matter the circumstances. So first up from the fortune leaves, or T-fortune cards is what they're called. We have coins. Money will be coming to you. Okay, so perhaps it's also something to do with finances. And if that is the case, you're worried about finances of some sort, that's a very good sign, pile 1, because literally it says, like, money raining from the sky, money will be coming to you. But let's grab one more tea leaf fortune as well. So the fact, too, that you were drawn to the divine timing angel. It's like maybe you've been waiting for something and you're like, I'm not sure when it's going to come, or you're hoping it comes faster. So I'm going to take those two. They flew off this way. Knocked over my pine cone a bit here. Okay. So we have 2. Beautifully, we have the gong, meaning an exciting event. And of course, you ring a gong to gain attention or to bring notice to something. So the gong, and then last but not least, we have the dolphin. Financial gain usually coming from something you did in the past. So we have 2 cards about finances, pile 1. So I'm pretty sure this is something to do with either like your ability to also pay for something or a job, or like something to do with like your debts or some sort of money financial matter, or like with the home or something like tangible on earth, more material things, okay? And then an exciting event is like something coming up related to this that's, you know, and exciting, you can take that in many different ways. Sometimes we say exciting as in, oh, we're really exuberant for it, we're enthusiastic, kind of like the traits of the child we were talking about. And sometimes that means maybe it's a little nerve-wracking if it's exciting, right? Because it might be such a big event that it's kind of causing some anxiety in your mind, okay? So yeah, something to do with either the youthfulness of being a kid, or those traits of enthusiasm, optimism, having hope or faith in things that they'll work out, playing around with an idea, or a littler child in your life, and then something to do, obviously, very prominently with finances in an exciting event. Okay. Interesting, pile 1. Let's grab some more oracle cards. So, actually, you know what? I'm going to go with tarot next. We'll do the oracle cards towards the end, because more lately I've been using oracle cards more as advice rather than explaining the situation. So tarot I'll use to explain the situation. So angels coming forward for my wonderful pile 1 today. 5 cards. What's going on from the start to the finish? Outcome, heart of the matter, typical spread. Thank you. Let's see, we have card number 1. Oh, remember I was like, you know, you might be anxious about something, pile 1. We have the 9 of Swords as the inciting incident card, the way I like to explain the first card in the spread. This is literally anxiety to the max, or depression, or being upset or worried about something. You can see even here in the way it's depicted in this particular deck, we have the girl. It almost looks like she woke up from a nightmare, and there's figures in the background very faintly that are like pointing and laughing at her, or things worrying her. So you're worried about something, I can tell you that. Pretty sure. Number 2, we have the Knight of Swords, taking action with our mind or our words, communication. So perhaps you have to speak for something, like a speech you're worried about related to your job. Okay, maybe that's the exciting event. You're like, oh my god, how is this going to go? Like, I hope I don't mess up, like that kind of feeling with the anxiety. Heart of the matter is temperance, and beautifully we actually have an angel here. Go fitting, or go figure for a very fitting angel reading, right? We have the angel of temperance. She's holding the water between the 2 cups, almost kind of makes me think of Aquarius a bit. We have, yeah, very, very beautiful depiction. I got distracted by the shiny wings. I was like, oh, those are pretty. But yes, very angelic imagery here. And temperance in tarot pile 1 means balance and moderation in all things. Okay, so I think that's going to be part of your advice regarding this situation. Then we have number 4, the 8 of Cups, emotionally moving on from something. Very interesting. We'll see what context that gives with the outcome. So the outcome card, I'm going to draw this one right here, is the 6 of Swords. So we have a lot of forward momentum at the end here. Very interesting, pile 1. I don't know if you perhaps are going somewhere, moving somewhere, like it's a new job, or you're doing some sort of forward momentum. And I say that because at the outcome, we have the Six of Swords, which is literally like moving away from something or moving to something, because the Six of Swords, you can see here, he's like in a boat and he's got his swords all loaded up and he's like, I'm going to oar out and I'm going to get away from where I am and I'm going to make a journey to a different destination. Okay, so the Six of Swords is moving away for something. And then the Eight of Cups next to it is also a movement card. It's a lot about emotionally moving on rather than physically moving on. But so we have, 2 movement cards here, pile 1. Both on the emotional and the literal moving kind of way. So, yeah, it's like if I had to summarize this entire tarot spread, pile 1, with the context of every other card. Yeah, worried about something to do with either taking action with the mind or communicating, like I said to some of you, maybe it's a speech or something like that. And then we have the heart of the matter is moderation and balance. Very interesting. I'm going to just tune in for one moment here, pile 1. I get the feeling, pile 1, that your fear and anxiety around this is the fear that you won't be able to move forward. It's like almost like a pleading your case type thing. I don't know if you have to talk to like a lawyer or there's some legal thing you have to kind of talk through, or it's like you have to, it's almost, they're saying it's like you're being vetted by something, sort of, or being judged is kind of another feeling coming through. And it's been making you anxious. It's been making you worried because, yes, it's an exciting event. It's a big event, right, with Gong, but at the same time, pile 1, it's like you're afraid if this doesn't go through the way that I need it to go through, or if this isn't received the way that I need it to be received, there's like financial things at stake. But your spirit guides, in the form of specifically we're asking guardian angels today, right, are saying for you to keep your hope and your optimism, and things are going to work out just fine. You're going to get that forward momentum that you're looking for because, like I said, look at all this movement at the end here. Being able to move on, both emotionally and physically here with both the Eight of Cups and the Six of Swords, okay? And the key with the Temperance card in the middle being the heart of the matter, pile 1, is moderation and balance, okay? So we will ask for some more insight on what they mean by moderation and balance, but I am going to draw your oracle cards right now because we'll be using those as advice cards today. So first we'll take the surrender deck. So angels coming forward for pile 1 will give us some advice for them on this situation. Okay, what should they surrender? What should they surrender? To passion. Very interesting. It says, get out of your head and feel the fire in your belly. Focus on the people or activities that ignite your passion and let it flow. So especially with the prevalence of the Knight of Swords here, pile 1, I almost get the feeling that if there is something that you need to plead your case for and that's what you're worried about, if you come off as passionate, like you really, really mean it and you really mean the best for everyone involved and that you really care, that's going to be the best tone to take, okay, with the situation. Same thing too, if it's maybe, I know some of you had said maybe perhaps there was an idea that you were feeling less than optimistic about and you were looking for guidance on, should I be optimistic about this idea? Like we were talking about the traits of the child earlier. This is a pretty clear indication. Surrender to your idea if it is your passion. Follow your passion in the situation, pile 1, okay, is a very prominent message coming through. Yeah, speak with passion, do with passion. And then last but not least, we have the Healing Spirits Oracle, so we'll also gain some advice from this deck. I have not used this deck in a while, but I like to use it with angel readings. Okay, advice. Oh, you were on the right path. Pile 1, okay, that's another piece of advice from your guardian angels today. Please, please, please do not doubt the path that you're on. Okay. This is a very prominent message coming through. They're telling you that whatever your worries are about this situation in particular, please dispel those worries. Easier said than done, especially when, you tend to be anxious about this and maybe there's a lot riding on this going well. They're saying that they understand that, pile 1, but you're doing everything right. Okay, you're on the right path, is what they're saying. As long as, like I said, you surrender to passion, you surrender to really making sure that you come forward with the tone and the obvious intention of, this is something I'm passionate about, this is something I care about, that message will be received by the audience, that either being, maybe you are hoping something goes well, which is like the audience will then be the universe, like, show the universe your passion, the universe will return in kind, right? Or it could be literally like some of you, I think, might be speaking in some way, maybe a speech or some presentation, perhaps. Same dang thing. Speak with passion. Get across that you care, and that will help this go well. But even then, you're on the right path, pile 1. They already said that. So basically, like, whenever I do these advice readings, a lot of times there's a lot of like concrete, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this type advice from, whatever energy we're tapping into. But it seems like today, pile 1, this is more of a reassurance reading from your guardian angels. You're doing everything right. Okay. You've already been putting in all the effort that's required. Just, believe in the processes of the universe. And of course, the protection from beings like your spirit guides and your guardian angels who we're talking to right now, that things will go just fine. But yeah, very beautiful, pile 1. However, I will draw some more tarot cards on more advice for you, okay? Because most of the reading so far has been more about the situation at hand, and then we've only had 2 cards of advice. So let's draw maybe at least 3 tarot cards. Guardian angels, I know you said that they're on the right path. However, if you would please, can we have 3 extra cards of advice for them on this situation? What advice would you give them in tackling this problem? Or whatever is on their mind. Okay, card number 1, the Ace of Pentacles. Look for new opportunities, especially in terms of the realm of business or finance or the home, because Pentacles are Earth, which is about money and finances, which we did see a lot with your T-Fortune cards, okay? We have look at all these Pentacles, pile number 1. Holy crap. We have the 9 of Pentacles. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. Yeah, so this is, once again, pile 1. I know this sounds ad nauseum. You're probably like, oh God, you're repeating a lot. But literally, it's kind of a synchronicity, but there's just a lot of repeated messages here. The 9 of Pentacles is all about, you've already done the work. Now it's time to actually enjoy the fruits of your labor. Like, we see the woman here, running through the vineyard, and she's picking the grapes and she's tasting them. She's like, I've already put in the work. I've already watered them. I already fertilized them. I took care of them. Now I get to enjoy the fruits of my labor, right? Literally in her case. And then we have the Hermit. Very interesting. Hermit. Hermit is all about going within ourselves to find the light, isolation, times of more independence than rather working with other people. Okay, so if I had to summarize your advice from the tarot cards, pile 1, your spirit guide, or your guardian angels, I should say, are telling you, it's very interesting. We already talked about the fruits of your labor. Once again, like I said, that's just, you're on the right path, pile 1. Just enjoy the fruits. But they do have some advice in terms of the Ace of Pentacles and the Hermit. There's something about this situation that's either to see it as a new opportunity in the realm of finance or business or the home, or part of what they want you to be excited for is that this thing will lead to a new opportunity in the realm of finance or business, okay? That will lead to a situation where you can enjoy the fruits of your labor. So there's something really, fortunate, something very lucky in terms of finances with what's going on. And I think what I'm hearing intuitively from these guardian angels, pile 1, is the reason they're telling you this is because They want to give you something to kind of be excited about that will help balm and soothe a bit of that Nine of Swords anxiety that we saw earlier, okay? It's kind of like, yeah, I know it's nerve-wracking, but look at this awesome opportunity that's coming through for you in this situation, pile 1, with that Ace of Pentacles, especially next to the Nine of Pentacles. Both fantastic cards in terms of business, okay? Or finances, jobs, things like that. So as nerve-wracking or nervous as this might make you feel, look for a silver lining in terms of a really golden opportunity. Okay, keep your eyes peeled and open for an opportunity. Okay, and you also have the Hermit, which is about going within. You know, especially if it's, say, I know one example we used was, say, maybe you have to do a speech in front of a business group, which is of course nerve-wracking. This might be a piece of advice to you, pile 1, to go within a little bit more. Okay, really think deeply and connecting to find your passion or surrender to passion, right? Why are you passionate about the thing that you're speaking about or the thing that you're going after? Okay? Why? Think deeply, meditate on it. Do a little bit of more isolated work, because that's what the Hermit is. It's literally like going within to find the light, hence the lantern he's holding, okay? And then the other part of the Hermit is not just going within, but also coming out of that Hermit status to shine that light and share that light with others, hence why he's holding that lantern. That's the other side of the meaning of the lantern in the Hermit, is because he's sharing the wisdom that he gained in his solitude with the world, okay? So that's the way they're almost kind of saying for you to approach this, right? Really link your action with your passion and link your action with what you find about why you care about this thing in solitude, and then shine that out to everyone else afterwards, okay? And that's their piece of advice for your situation, at least in terms of the Hermit cards. So let me look and see if there's anything else. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything, pile 1. And 2, you know, we did talk about with the divine timing. That was the angel that you were drawn to in the beginning, your pile leader that you chose. And what I see that as, pile 1, is almost a subconscious leaning towards that card. The reason why you picked it, I guess, is because maybe there's a bit of an impatience. Maybe there's a little bit of a worry about something happening at the right time. Maybe even you're worried about, say, if it is a speech that you're giving, God, am I going to time this right? I'm going to say the right thing at the right time. And divine timing is a reminder that everything happens on the universe's time. We don't have any control over time itself. And technically, time doesn't really even exist. It's only something that exists within the context of the way that our minds try to make sense of the passage of events, right? But literally, there's no physical force that's time. Only the universe really has control over the sequence of events and time. So surrender to divine timing is what your angels are saying, pile 1. Know that the right things will happen at the right time, the way that they're supposed to happen, okay? Kind of like that you're on the right path card. This is kind of a reassurance reading, like I said before, okay? And know that whatever happens, happens for a reason. And like I said, even if, you know, say if you do have a speech, pile 1, just using that same example, though it might not apply to all of you. Maybe you have one tiny little blunder. Oh no. And of course, maybe your first inkling is to freak out because, oh God, I don't want to sound dumb, or I don't want to make people think that I don't care because, you know, I messed up or whatever. Even if something technically negative happens, though I'm not saying that, but just if it does, there's a reason with that Ace of Pentacles. There's an opportunity coming out of this. So no matter even what happens, I see fortune because of these pentacles, and also even your coins earlier before. I mean, look at that. Money will be coming to you, and financial gain usually coming from something you did in the past. So I think you're going to do better than you think you will. But so follow that idea, pile 1. Believe in your ability to pull it off, okay? Believe in the ability of the universe to send opportunities your way, no matter how it goes, even though I am seeing it going positive, right? Believe in and have faith in the path that you're on. Okay, and remember, passion is the heart of everything. Or they're saying, at least, that's how you should use passion. Use it as your North Star, guiding every action you take regarding this situation. And that will set you on the right path, even though, well, you're already on the right path, but even more right than you are right now, is part of their advice. So Well, I hope that was helpful for you, my wonderful pile 1. If you liked the reading and it resonated, please like and comment and subscribe to the channel. If you have not done so yet, that just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide more readings for both you and others in the future. And as is our tradition on Lone Pine Tarot, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, pile 1, especially for those of you who say maybe it is like a speech in front of people. I know how nerve-wracking that can be. Ironically, like, I know I do YouTube, but speaking in front of people is very hard, especially I understand. So I'm a nervous Nelly when it comes to speaking. So I 100% sympathize with you, pile 1, if that's your situation. But you're going to do well. I guarantee it. So, or, you know, if it isn't a speech necessarily, whatever it is you're going after, you're going to do well is what I'm hearing. So, yes, wonderful rest of your day. And I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye, pile 1. Hello there, my beautiful pile number 2. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about advice on your current situation from your angels. As you recall, the pile leader you were drawn to was the very beautiful angel of, quite simply, no. And I always get a laugh when I see this card because not just is it no, it's no with an exclamation point, like a very strong, firm no. And I think the reason why this card was drawn and written that way is because the imagery here, you can see the angel has this water, and it's almost like shedding off of her hands. You see like a crossed motion too. It's kind of like a defensive measure. It's like protecting oneself and letting the water or the energy just shed right off of you. Almost kind of like, the phrase I hear with this card is always like water off of a duck's back. Just sheds. Does not even affect the person involved. Okay. So we'll see with more cards. More about your current situation, just for me as the tarot reader to understand what's going on. But I think part of it, pile 2, is about maybe protecting yourself from something, saying no to something. Maybe perhaps you're hoping that something will leave you alone, okay? Or something will end, something that you want to say no to, perhaps. So, let's first grab Lenormand. Lenormand is fantastic at situations. So, angels of pile number 2 coming forward for their highest best good today. Can you give me a Lenormand card that explains more about this situation? What's the context? So we have, the garden. So pile 2, in Lenormand, the garden is all about the community or a group of people. This particular card is very harvest-oriented. It's kind of autumnal because we see the bounty of the cornucopia and a bunch of different, it looks like fruits specifically. I don't really see any vegetables or meat, but the bounty after a time of harvest, okay? And sharing it. We have not only with all the food laid out, but the cooking spit and even the wheat, or maybe I think that's technically wheat. I was going to say rye for some reason, but in the background, ready for harvest, ready to enjoy. So that's why the garden is about the community, the group, what we all contribute to a group. So I feel like it's a group situation at hand for you, pile 2. Okay, maybe even sharing within the group, or maybe things are not equally dispersed, or you're afraid that they won't be. But in general, for everybody watching this, there's some group situation. So it could be your workplace, family, friend groups, something along those lines. So let's grab your tea leaf fortune cards also to get some more context. Angels, come forward, please. Oh boy, that was a very poor shuffle. Okay, we're going to kind of do it this way. There we go. Not always the best about shuffling this round deck, so context. What's going on? So we'll grab one card from this deck. We have the Weeping Willow with Family Sorrow. Okay, so maybe it's a family thing in this. That's the group that they're referring to, pile 2. Or it could be found family, of course, like a friend group that's very close. And a sorrow. So something maybe isn't going on that is for the best of everybody involved. There's a sorrow of some sort. Okay, very sad. Pile 2. Hopefully there wasn't a loss, but could be. Maybe there was a loved one in your family that was lost, which, of course, my condolences if so, pile 2. I've had a lot of that myself this past year, so I 100% understand. Okay, so then you have the camel. Persevere and you will overcome problems. So you're kind of like pile 1 today, pile 2, where I think, and this is very common with the energy of angels, at least whenever I've tapped in, angels tend to be very reassuring, okay? They're good about advice too, but they tend to be more like, oh, it's going to be okay. It's kind of like comforting energy is kind of what I feel off of angels oftentimes. So basically what they're saying in terms of the context is it feels like there's a group situation, like we said, and there's an element of maybe wanting to protect oneself or say no to something, and then we have a sorrow of some sort related to this group. However, this is where the reassurance comes in, pile 2. Persevere and you will overcome problems. And what I'm really drawn to with this camel is even just thinking about what does a camel symbolize, okay? As we all know, camels are animals of the desert. That's why they have those humps, because they carry water in their humps, almost like a reservoir of water, to carry them through the hardest of times, through the most harshest of places on earth, right? Because they don't often get a chance to drink water unless they find, say, an oasis or some sort of course, like a water body close to the desert, but most of the time, long distances through very harsh circumstances. So it almost kind of reminds me of you in this situation, pile 2, where it's like you've been through, like, sorrow, and it's been a really difficult time, okay? You've had to persevere. But the angels are saying you will overcome the problems, okay? And it's interesting, too, when I talk about water having been a part of what makes the camel so such a persevering symbol, because weeping willows, as we all know, like to grow near water, okay? Weeping willows are a very water-heavy plant, or like they like to grow next to ponds and streams, things like that. Even the way that their leaves grow almost kind of reminds one of water. And water in cartomancy is all about emotions and our relationships. So once again, that's just another bit of a synchronicity, a symbolism, confirmation, pile 2, that I think this is about your relationships in some way, okay? And then even thinking about how it grows near water. I almost wonder if part of this, too, for at least some of you, pile 2, now this might not apply to everyone, but it's like with the weeping willow growing near water, like it needs water to survive, but at the same time, by this card representing a sorrow, it's like being near this group has made you sorrowful. So it's like you've had to walk away from the water like the camel, but it's like you've been persevering. So it's like, I wonder if you're considering leaving a group, pile 2. But it's like there's parts of it you really enjoy. However, staying is also costing you. Something along those lines for at least maybe some of you. But, yeah. You will persevere, though. So, let us grab. We're actually going to do tarot next. And then I do have some oracle cards to draw afterwards. I've been kind of switching up my rotation lately in terms of what cards I pull first, just to kind of experiment a bit. We'll get some more details on the situation and the outcome, at least currently at this point in time. So angels, from inciting incident to outcome with the heart of the matter, typical 5-card spread, thank you. What's going on? Four of Cups reversed. Inciting incident, pile 2. You noticed something, didn't you? You noticed. It had flown under the radar for a long time, and then all of a sudden, boom. I noticed. And then, very interestingly, this particular depiction of the Four of Cups, which I'll flip over to show you, is born on angel wings. So, pile 2, if I am correct, and you did notice something that it was like something you noticed that sparked a lot of this situation that maybe had flown under the radar for a long time, that almost tells me your guardian angels, the ones that we're speaking to right now, were part of the reason why you noticed. They helped you notice because they wanted you to notice something, given that the cup is borne aloft on angel wings. Okay, we paid attention, we noticed. What happened next? We have the Two of Wands reversed. Inability to make plans for the future, feeling blocked in terms of our future planning. And we've got water again, too. He's overlooking a lot of water. He's overlooking coastlines. A lot of water symbolism. And there's even symbolism in the water in your angel, I just realized, too, with the water kind of flowing off of her hands. Interesting. I don't know if maybe a lot of people involved are water signs, of course. Maybe perhaps that's part of it, but King of Pentacles reversed is the heart of the matter. Threatened stability. Maybe it's even costing you literal money. Or you're fearing that you might not be able to afford something because of the situation. Ace of Swords reversed. Not sure what to think or what idea to go with. Blocked ideas. Okay, and then the outcome card here is the Seven of Cups. What it is, or what is it, I should say, do you truly desire? What are you actually looking for? What an interesting spread, pile number 2. Let me look over and take a gander. So with this group situation, yeah, angels brought something to your attention. And I think it was real. It made you realize there's something here about the future that I'm unprepared for, or that you, what's another way of putting that? Like it's blocking your plans for the future, or you're afraid that something with this group is going to block your plans for the future, especially when it comes to finances and stability here, pile 2, because the King of Pentacles is all about, especially because it's the masculine side of the mastery of Earth, so that if you think about like very tangible things with Earth, like money, career ambitions, things along those lines, the home, okay? Yeah. It's like you're not sure about the stability of things. You're like, I don't know, especially next to the Two of Wands, blocking that financial stability or ability to plan for the future with financial stability in some way. And even looking at the symbolism of the direction they're looking in, because that's another aspect of tarot reading, pile 2, is what direction are they looking in? And traditionally, to the left, they're looking to the past, to the right, they're looking to the future. And every single figure you have is either looking to the right, so the future, or right at the camera, so to speak, or at the viewer, which is the present. So there's a lot of desire for the future and making sure the future is bright, but there are present problems that are causing issues. And I think part of maybe what you came to this reading for, pile 2, was advice in terms of ideas with that Ace of Swords reversed. It's like, I'm not sure where to go. I'm not sure. And especially next to the Seven of Cups is the outcome. Because the Seven of Cups is all about be careful what you wish for. And also separating dreams from reality, or fantasy from reality. And also being careful about what path you take when it comes to decisions driven by emotions. Because as Cups, it's the water suit. A lot of water too. Both beginning and end here we have water, especially with all the other water symbolism from the other cards that we discussed before that I won't repeat. But yeah, it's like you're looking for ideas. There is that reassurance you're going to be just fine, pile 2, but yeah, you've come to quite a dilemma here with that Ace of Swords and the Seven of Cups. And I think that's what your angels want to give you clarity on. So let's get to the advice part, pile 2. So first up, we have the surrender deck. Angels, if you were to tell them any advice on what they should surrender that would help them find the right way or the right idea to get out of this situation, what would you tell them? Surrender to creativity. Let your imagination soar. Stay open to all creative ideas about how to pursue a dream or solve a problem. And she's holding a mirror. And it looks like there's actually water in the mirror. So once again, we have water symbols. Let me see the blue right here. Maybe on camera it's a bit unclear. But let your imagination soar. Stay open to all creative ideas about how to pursue a dream or solve a problem. So they're saying to really lean into your creativity a bit more, pile 2. Now that could be literally as in like creative passions. So, you know, whatever your hobbies might be, which I know sounds kind of odd for a reading like this if there's been problems with a group, but It could be something that you do with that creativity, that hobby, that leads you to almost kind of a light bulb moment, especially because with that Ace of Swords reversed, I often call the Ace of Swords like a light bulb moment card, but reversed, it's like you've been lacking light bulb moments. You're like, I really have no clue which direction to go. But if you follow your creativity, both either in, say, like a hobby that you do, but also it can mean creative thinking, of course. Really thinking outside of the box. Even though you may have felt like you've expressed all options in terms of ideas, pile 2, there's still something there that your angels are saying that you could do or that you could think of. It's just that you haven't quite thought outside enough of the box yet. Let's grab your Healing Spirits Oracle as well. Angels, any other advice? And then we will pull at the end here 3 extra tarot cards of advice too. So we have, very interesting, true love can never really be lost. Yeah, you know, I wonder if some of you did have a family member that passed. Because we have another group setting here, pile 2. In this card, it's a group of spirits all together. And with the pink, of course, we think of love. There's also yellow, which is happiness. Purple, which is spirituality. And, of course, white, which is purity and light. So, true love can never really be lost. So, pile 2, if you're considering leaving a group of some sort, but part of the reason that you've been hesitating moving on is because either you feel extra responsible or extra attached to the people involved, or you fear some sort of repercussion of leaving, like maybe, oh, they're going to be bitter, they're going to be upset, they're going to think I hate them or something like that. Or you fear judgment, perhaps. What the angels are saying in that case is, you know, it's like the intuitive message coming across to me is, I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it. Sorry, I'm hesitating a bit. Let me just think here. It's like a situation where if you leave, the right people will follow, and then you'll understand who really actually cares and loves, is what I'm hearing. Because when we say true love can never really be lost, I think what that's meaning in terms of what I'm hearing is like, if people are right for you, you're not going to lose them. Okay? If that's your particular situation. And if people don't follow you, pile 2, then you know the true nature of whether or not they really care is revealed. Which can be harsh. But at the same time, it's almost like it's better to know the truth behind who really truly does love in this situation. Okay. Same thing too if you've lost a loved one. Maybe this family sorrow in the group is all about actually like someone has passed on. This card on that end is more of a reminder of they're not really gone. Not really, right? Pile 2. That tells me that there's still that love for you. There's still that connection. Just because they passed beyond to the other side doesn't mean that that connection is lost. In fact, maybe part of the reason why water has been such a prominent symbol in your reading today, pile 2, if this is, say, a passed on loved one recently, is because water is a part of the symbolism of, you know, sometimes, you know, people send us signs in terms of, from the other side, like say maybe water is a common symbolism coming forward, or maybe when this person was alive, you were often near, say, like a willow tree or a body of water, or maybe they were into a water sport, like, or maybe they taught you how to swim or something like along those lines. It's kind of a synchronicity sign of here I am and I'm still here. Okay. So if that's the case, then pile 2, be reminded that, yeah, true love can never really be lost. And then we have, of course, the message of creativity. So I'm going to draw out your tarot cards now, the final 3 on their final 3 pieces of advice from tarot, because I want to know, I think it'll help us understand that creativity message more, because that's one of those cards, I don't really have a term for it, but sometimes you get a reading and then you get advice and then it's kind of feels like it's completely out of left field from exactly like what we're talking about. So you're like, well, wait a minute. Let's get some more context here. Final advice, angels, please. 3 cards. creative thinking. How to get out of this situation. The 9 of Cups. Wishes fulfilled. Emotional satisfaction. And we have Cups yet again. Water. Water, water everywhere. Okay. We have the King of Cups. Once again, more cups. So lots to do with emotions and relationships. Maybe water signs, like I said. Water, just whoosh. And the 5 of Wands. What an interesting advice card. So pile 2, we have the advice of the 9 of Cups. Emotional satisfaction and wish fulfillment. We have the King of Cups, which is emotional maturity. Okay. Authority taken with emotions in tune. And the 5 of Wands, which is more lighthearted competition or a battle of egos, being fire. So their advice for you, pile 2, their parting advice here at the end, especially with the creativity message. This is very interesting. Follow what makes you most emotionally satisfied. So if it is, say, a group situation that you're not sure you want to leave, pile 2, ask yourself deep, deep down, what would make me feel the most emotionally satisfied with this? Okay. And then, too, with the King of Cups, that is an indication to, no matter what action you take it with emotional maturity as the utmost pillar in your mind of how you should conduct yourself, okay? Because there is a bit of a warning here with the 5 of Wands. The 5 of Wands, like I said, can be a conflict card. Now, it's not as harsh as the 5 of Swords. It's not cutting remarks, right? But the 5 of Wands is battle of egos, battle of willpower, battle of ambitions, okay? And so I think that is part of maybe what you've been fearing a little bit. If it is like a group situation you want to leave, okay? It's all about, I'm afraid maybe there's conflict. But as long as you hold yourself with emotional maturity in mind, pile 2, and you keep in mind that North Star of, is this really making me emotionally satisfied to stay or to go? That will help you get through the situation. Okay, even if there is, say, a little bit of conflict, you know it's right for you, is kind of what I'm hearing from the King and the 9 of Cups next to each other. And reading this for those of you where maybe there was a family loss of, say a death of some sort, this almost makes me think that this family member was either someone who was very emotionally mature as the King of Cups, or it can also even mean that leaning this is like masculine. So a masculine water sign, a masculine person of emotional maturity. That can be sometimes what the King of Cups represents, right? Maybe even someone that had an appearance similar to the King of Cups here. He's got the longer hair, he's bearded, right? And the 9 of Cups then is a piece of advice from them to you through the angels to follow your emotional satisfaction in the situation that you're in, okay? And to always, if you fear a conflict of some sort with that 5 of Wands, okay? Kind of similar to the other message I was saying before, if it's, say, like a group, like the people that's like more of a group conflict thing. As long as you carry yourself with emotional maturity, you'll make it through just fine, okay? And if this King of Cups does represent that person that passed on, that's almost like advice to follow their example throughout life. Okay. And yeah, that 5 of Wands. I'm going to draw just one more card here, pile 2, about that 5 of Wands. Can you clarify the 5 of Wands just a bit more, angels? Thank you. Just one more card. Okay, I already feel this one right here. At the bottom came out. We have the 5 of Pentacles. 2 5s is hardship and lack. Hardship and lack with the 5 of Wands. Conflict of ego and hardship. Very interesting. Pay close attention, pile 2. And this is the last part of the reading today. Pay close attention to where areas of ego or conflict are creating hardship for you. And I know that's vague. That's going to apply to every single one of you a bit differently. But that's what these angels are saying here. Where does conflict, ambition, or competition create hardship? It's another question to meditate on, and that will help guide you to that idea that maybe you've been lacking, that direction maybe that you've been lacking on how to approach this situation, okay? So, that was your reading today, my wonderful pile number 2. If you liked it and if it resonated, please like and comment and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. That just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide more readings for both you and others in the future. And as our tradition on Lone Pine Tarot, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, pile 2, hopefully with less group conflict, or, say if it was a loved one that you lost, once again, my condolences and much healing and prayer towards you on your recovery through this time of sorrow, right? And I hope to see you in the next reading, pile 2. Toodaloo. Hello there, my beautiful pile number 3. Welcome today to your angel message reading about advice on your current situation. And as you recall, the pile leader you were drawn to was the very cute self-acceptance angel. She has her eyes closed. She's smiling. She's fully in tune with self-love. So, of course, we'll get more context with your other cards today, pile 3. But right off the bat, there seems to be some element, because of your subconscious intuitive being drawn to this card. Something about self-acceptance, something about self-love today as part of the theme. So, we'll set your pile leader to the left as is custom. And right off the bat, I want to draw some Lenormand cards to get context on what's going on. So angels coming forward for my wonderful pile 3 today. For their highest best good. Can you tell me what area of their life this situation has to deal with? What is the context? I'm feeling drawn to this one. We have the snake, and specifically it's the fierce snake. It's a particular variant of the snake in this Lenormand deck. And the fierce snake, my friends, is all about, sometimes it can mean betrayal. Sometimes it can mean like a snake in the grass, something to be wary of, especially because, at least for those of us that live in areas with snakes, there might be snakes around. You're a little bit wary about the tall grass, being careful about the steps that we take. It can also mean someone who is kind of alongside the betrayal lines, underhanded, someone who's sneaky, because snakes are kind of sneaky the way that they slither. Something along those lines, okay? Could also just be a difficult person in general. Okay, someone who likes to bite, snap, right? Just as snakes do. So it seems like that is part of the context. We will grab the tea leaves, though, to get even more, but that is what the angels want to speak about today for you, pile 3. So, someone who is quick to defend. So, from the first tea leaf, we have, look at that, pile 3. Not only do we have a snake in the grass, we've got a rat in the grass. Rat says, someone working against you behind your back. Oh boy. So pile 3, pretty quite clear and forward. The angels are saying, I think your situation is about someone who isn't maybe the nicest person. Okay, let's of course grab another tea leaf here. What's going on? This is a little bit of a, I don't want to say darker reading than the other piles, but maybe some interpersonal conflict here, it looks like. Let's grab the third one. There we go. So we have Dark Man. Dealings or relationship with a man with dark complexion or hair. So I think that tends to indicate maybe the person involved, pile 3. Now, this might not apply to every single one of you, but I think the majority of you, this is explaining kind of like the features of the person involved. So we have a snake in the grass, the fierce snake, someone who might be biting or betraying or not the nicest, right? Maybe they're kind of snippy. We also have rat, someone working against you behind your back. And then, yes, Dark Man. Dealings or relationship with a man with dark complexion or hair. Quite straightforward today, pile 3, about what this is all about. And I think, tying this back to your pile leader with the self-acceptance card, I I have a feeling that part of the issue at hand is maybe this person knocked your confidence in yourself or knocked your self-acceptance. Maybe they haven't been the nicest to you. They undermined your own confidence. Something along those lines. Okay, so not fun to deal with at all, pile 3. My condolences for what's going on, because, you know, it's one of those readings as a tarot reader. You get these cards and you're like, oh no. That does not look like a fun time. So let's grab your tarot cards to get some more context. So angels, from inciting incident to the outcome and the heart of the matter. Typical 5-card spread we use. What's going on? Thank you. Knight of Cups. Interesting. Potentially could have been this person is a love interest. Because the Knight of Cups can indicate someone that you're in a relationship with, or masculine energy that is romantic, passionate, things like that, or maybe seems like they were. But the Knight of Cups also, I read it as the energy of taking action combined with the energy of water, which is relationships and emotions. So maybe it's like a relationship to your person here that maybe isn't the nicest, right? The rat snake person. We'll just call them from now on. And it's like an action they took in their relationship or an action you took was kind of the inciting incident of all of this going down. And then we have you. Yeah, Ace of Cups. Oh my god, pile 3. Jesus. Yeah, this is not a fun relationship. Oh my god. Okay, so we have the Ace of Cups reversed, which is a relationship gone awry. Okay, and this is past energy, pile 3, so don't be afraid if you are watching this and you're like, oh, is like something gonna go wrong. I think for those of you that this applies to, it's past energy because it's the first and second card in the spread, but yeah, this is kind of, oh boy, and then we have death. Okay, death of the matter is the heart of the matter, excuse me. And death is the card of change. Needing change, things coming to a natural end. Okay. We even have, it looks like a woman that's grieving down here. So change in the relationship. And then I'm just going to shuffle one more time for the last 2 cards because I didn't really see any ones that were prominent. Let's grab this one right here I'm drawn to. We have number 4, the 6 of Wands. Well, that's a positive card, pile 3. We have victory. Okay. And last but not least, we have beautiful, the High Priestess. Okay, intuition and knowing. Interesting as an outcome card. Okay, so pile 3. I won't repeat too much because it's pretty straightforward that this is a reading about a bad relationship or something that went awry in a relationship. Very obviously, you know, not a fun person. Maybe someone with dark complexion or hair or features, things like that. Yeah. And then the Knight of Cups is, taking action with our emotions. I think this is probably a romantic relationship or a friendship, at least, pile 3. Okay. And maybe you're kind of wondering what to do in this situation because you're like, it almost kind of feels like it came out of the blue. Like you weren't expecting it, pile 3. You're like, why is this person not being so nice to me, right? Or why is this relationship going awry? But no matter what, pile 3, the heart of the matter is death, like I said, which is change, okay? Things are changing with this relationship. Things are going to take a different course. And what I'm seeing is, despite all this negative stuff over here, you're on the path to victory, which is the 6 of Wands, okay? He's even, on his head is the crest of laurels, okay? Winning the laurel. To my understanding, it's associated with that because I think it was in the ancient Greek Olympics. They would crown the winners with a crown of laurel leaves, to my understanding. Feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think that's what it was. So, victory over a time of tribulation. And at the end, we have the outcome of the High Priestess. Now, that's interesting as an outcome because typically she really just means, tuning more into your intuition, listening more to your self-knowing, okay? And so I think what that's saying, pile 3, is rather than me telling you the outcome myself, your angels are saying, deep, deep down, if you were to close your eyes and meditate on it for a minute, even just a minute, pile 3, what is your intuition telling you about how this situation will turn out? They want you to tap into your own intuition a bit more. What do you feel is the outcome? Okay. And that is your answer as to how it will go. Okay. And that's part of their advice to you, because by telling you that the outcome is basically what you pretty much think is going to be, right? That can help you prepare for that outcome. Okay. And also just strengthen your confidence in yourself and your own belief in your ability to understand and predict things regarding this particular situation. Because, you know, it might be that maybe some of this negative energy has been kind of confusing with this person. Like perhaps you're not like quite sure that they have done something wrong, but like you have an inkling maybe that they did, right? Pile 3. And that's what's been affecting the relationship between you and this person. And so by telling you that, it's also helping your self-confidence. Like we talked about, self-acceptance, self-love is a theme here with the angel that you were drawn to. Okay, remember her over here? Because in realizing this, in trusting in your own intuition, that is a form of self-love, because that can help you get out of the bad situation, okay? Being willing to push yourself out of a bad way or a bad situation is a form of self-love, pile 3, okay? Wanting better for yourself, okay? And also trusting in your intuition is self-love. Because when you trust in your intuition, that's saying to yourself, I believe in my power to predict things, to be correct about things. I believe and I am courageous in the way that, in my senses and the things that I've noticed, you know, things along those lines, okay? So that's your outcome. What do you think is going to happen most likely? What does your gut tell you? And that's the answer. But this is an advice reading, right? We're not talking about the outcome so much. So we do have some extra cards to grab, pile 3. So let me grab the surrender deck first. And then we will grab another oracle card after that. And then we'll finish off the reading with the final 3 tarot cards of advice. But let's grab the oracle cards now. So what advice do you have for them, angels? What should they surrender? Drawn to this one. Surrender worry. Interesting. It says, make a commitment not to lead an anxiety-driven life. When worries arise, breathe them out of your body, focus on the power of your heart, and have faith that Spirit is guiding you always. Okay, so number 1, that's a message of you're protected. I mean, you always are, even if they don't send a message specifically that way, right? Pile 3. Angels are always around you. Spirit guides are always around you. Ancestors, etc. But specifically, this is about them saying it's going to be fine. You don't have to worry about it because, well, A, you're divinely protected, but B, you also have the power to protect yourself and predict the outcome and thus prepare yourself with that message of the High Priestess, pile 3. Okay. It's going to be fine. You have the power to make it fine and to prepare yourself for whatever outcome. But let's also grab a Healing Spirits Oracle. Oh boy. There we go. Got it nice and shuffled. Okay, Healing Spirits advice. You know, it's very interesting too, pile 3, because I just realized this. The fact that you got both the rat and the snake, they're natural enemies of one another because snakes typically eat mice and rats. Interesting symbolism there. Maybe that might mean something more specific to some of you, but speak your truth with passion. And we even have, there's a bit of a light here. There's a figure, but she's got a light at her throat. So like throat chakra. This is complete throat chakra vibes with this card. Okay. And an unblocked throat chakra is a throat chakra that speaks the truth, that isn't afraid to say things, okay? So another piece of advice here, pile 3, is to speak the truth in this situation, okay? Maybe you caught someone doing something that they weren't supposed to. Speak the truth and say, I caught you, I know what you did. Or if you suspect something, say, hey, I'm suspecting this. Speak it out loud. And know with that element of passion, what that means in this situation, pile 3, is conviction almost, is what I'm hearing. The word conviction is coming up, right? In saying, I know what I've seen. I know what my gut says. This is the truth of how I see it, okay? And that will help guide you to the right outcome in what's going on. Speak the truth. Don't flinch from the truth. And it's interesting, too, because you also have red as a prominent theme in this card. And, of course, we think of, I believe it is the root chakra that is red. But red is also the color of confidence and courageousness, which I think is specifically why this card has that color, because it's like speaking truth with passion is like being brave, okay? Be brave, pile 3. Don't be afraid, because you're well on your way to victory in this situation with that 6 of Wands, remember? Okay? You're on the path to something good coming out of this, or at least coming to the most good outcome that it could have with whoever the rat snake person is. I'm not sure, but it does require you to be a little bit brave. Okay, as scary as that is. But know that what hangs in the balance is your self-love, pile 3. Knowing what's most right for you. Because I think your angels are saying you need to value yourself and love yourself more. And that will help you gain the confidence to speak your truth with passion, as that card says. Okay. And then we have the last 3 cards of advice, angels, for their highest best good. Do you have last 3 cards of advice for pile 3? Thank you. What would you advise them to do in this situation? The 3 of Wands. Take action on plans that you've made for the future. Be future focused, pile 3. And not only do you have just the 3 of Wands, meaning go towards the future, you also have the dawn back here in the background. New beginnings. Go towards new beginnings. Go towards your dreams. Go towards a future that's better than where you are. Okay. We have the star. Very beautiful. Okay. That's kind of similar to the surrender worry card here, pile 3. The star as an advice card is to have hope or faith that something will work out the way that you're hoping that it will. Okay. It's all about keeping faith alive even in the dark, like the symbolism of the star being a light within darkness in the shadows of space, right? And last but not least, we have the King of Cups, emotional maturity. Okay, so pile 3, whatever action you decide to take with this situation. We talked about don't worry about the outcome, have hope or faith things will be okay. That's the star combined with the worry card. We talked about speak your truth with passion, so I won't repeat that. But then we have the 3 of Wands and the King of Cups, which adds a new dimensionality to the advice. Whatever you do with your actions, ask yourself, not just out of that self-love and that self-acceptance we talked about earlier, but also out of your own passions, what does the best future look like to me? And take action towards it, okay? What plans have you been making? What dreams have you been entertaining? And follow those to help you out of this situation with the 3 of Wands, okay? And then the King of Cups is a little reminder that in his nature, so the King of Cups, let me explain who he is. The King of Cups is someone who is emotionally mature. There's someone who is emotionally wise. There's someone who takes every action with intuition and that emotional maturity in mind, okay? So no matter what, take every action with the intention of, I'm going to be the most emotionally mature emotionally mature person. There we go. We need the hard S, not the SHS. Most emotionally mature person in the situation. And that will also help you get to the best outcome. Okay. Especially if this is the kind of person you're dealing with the rat snake person we were talking about earlier, which once again, my condolences. That's not fun. To have to deal with a person like that. You're already going to be the most emotionally mature person in the situation. But your angels are just reminding you, for a little bit of a bulwark, be as emotionally mature as you can when you take action the way that you decree is the best way to go, okay? So, yes. Let me see, make sure we didn't miss anything here with your reading, pile 3. Just remember, your gut is right. You're on the right path. You're on the path to victory, as scary as it is, but you're going to make it, and there's going to be a brighter future afterwards, pile 3. Okay. Got some extra messages for you. So that is what I will leave you with today, my wonderful pile number 3. Thank you so much for tuning in to this reading. If you liked it and if it resonated, please like and comment and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. That just helps me out just a little bit, which helps me provide more readings for both you and others in the future. And as is our tradition on Lone Pine Tarot, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, hopefully with a lot more calm atmosphere in the future after whatever's going on with this person. It seems the rat snake, as we called them, right? And just remember to have hope or faith that things will work out. Hope or faith in that you're divinely protected in this time. I mean, you are all the time, but especially now, right? And you're on your way to victory. Follow your gut, okay? And I hope to see you in the next reading, pile 3. Have a great day.